If Dr. Jones, if you could talk about that a little bit and how, where the whole gun control thing.
I have no real feelings about gun control whatsoever. I mean, I grew up in Philadelphia. People in Philadelphia didn't own guns. I mean, I had a cap pistol when I was 10 years old. It's the closest I've ever been to a gun. I have just no relationship to this issue whatsoever. My gut feeling is that the Second Amendment, possession of guns allows the government to kill you in a way that they couldn't do if you didn't have a gun. Possession of guns allows the government to kill you in a way that they couldn't do if you didn't have a gun.
This is such a crock of shit.
And your point, Brett, that the radical right actually is more powerful once they get organized is a really good one, because there's no fractionation.
Yeah, it's more stable.
You bet. And they have all the guns. And they have all the guns. And they have all the guns.
Possession of guns allows the government to kill you in a way that they couldn't do if you didn't have a gun.
And they have all the guns.
There was an incident here, Rainbow Farm in Michigan. These hippies believed in their Second Amendment rights. They're marching around with their guns, and the FBI shows up and kills them all because they got guns, and nobody said anything about it. A hippie buddy of mine, I used to play Irish music with him before he died. He was at Notre Dame. He looked like the Notre Dame hippie, very stood out because he had real long hair at this time. He told me the story about some guy in a suit coming up to him and saying, "Are you a revolutionary, kid?" And my friend says, "Yeah." And he says, "Come here, I want to show you something." He pops open the trunk of his car, and it's full of guns. And the guy says, "Take a gun, kid."
A crock of shit.
Well, why did he do that? Because he wanted to kill him. That's why. That's the lesson of the Black Panthers in Chicago. That's the lesson, as far as I can tell, of this whole bogus gun culture thing. It's completely manipulated top to bottom, and it's an excuse to kill you if you have a gun.
Nobody has ever analyzed why the German nation that had more Nobel Prize winners and more famous researchers and scientists and was one of the best educated countries in Europe turn on the Jews. Why did these good Germans turn on the Jews, who had more Jews living amongst them than even percentage-wise live in the United States today? Why was that?
I'm sure
Jews never asked themselves this question.
I'm sure I'll get the answer from you now.
Yeah, I can give you the answer.
Please.
Because they displayed the same voracious ethnocentrism, power-grabbing, influence peddling, buying of politicians, dominating of the public airwaves and the public media in Germany and so on, that they display in the United States. And I'm not much of a prophet, but that much I can say based on history, that in the United States, mark my word, you will have Weimar conditions, and you'll have solutions to the Weimar conditions that will be very similar to what happened in Germany.
You mean the final solution will be repeated in the United States?
Whatever the Holocaust war, you've got one in your future.
Really?
That's right. Why? Because...
How soon, by the way?
How soon? That depends entirely on how long the power structure in the Western world is going to stay on top. I mean, if you look at East Germany, how quickly it collapsed, or the former Soviet Union, how quickly it collapsed with all its secret services, spy agencies, NKVD, and Stasis, it imploded so quickly, I have no idea. But there is no doubt in my mind that if you look at history and the trends in history, the United States is heading in the same direction. And there's only one difference. In the United States, there are enough guns out on the street, and enough lawlessness in the public, and a revolutionary spirit that founded that republic. This is not Germany, where the only people that had guns were hunters and soldiers and policemen. The United States is armed to the teeth. They have a spirit of revolution in their blood. They are heroes, are people who turn against what they call tyranny and foreign occupiers and so on. The United States is armed to the teeth. They have a spirit of revolution in their blood. They are heroes, are people who turn against what they call tyranny and foreign occupiers and so on.
And they have all the guns. And they have all the guns.
The United States is armed to the teeth. They have a spirit of revolution in their blood. They are heroes, are people who turned against what they call tyranny and foreign occupiers and so on.
Possession of guns allows the government to kill you in a way that they couldn't do if you didn't have a gun.
The United States is armed to the teeth. They have a spirit of revolution in their blood. They are heroes, are people who turned against what they call tyranny and foreign occupiers and so on.
Possession of guns allows the government to kill you in a way that they couldn't do if you didn't have a gun.